can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. United focused on what matters. Win, baby, win. That's the motto. It's a makeshift back four, a center back pairing. I know you didn't want to see it anytime soon, but most importantly, United go on the road to a low team, a team that's fighting the relegation battle. A couple nervy moments in the first half, but ultimately cruising. United created lots of chances. Probably should have had more goals. Anthony with a good scrappy one to open it. Delo with a nice finish to finish it. Anthony also involved in that. And most importantly, clean sheet, 3 points, goals, and a bit of momentum before we head out onto a very busy week on the road, right? First in Sevilla, then in London for the FA Cup. 2 big cup games coming up and everything to play for in both sides. So a lot of goodness out of this game. More injuries, that's a worry. Sabitzer goes down. Who knows how long that's going to be. And we're thin. We're thin in the back, but importantly, United got a result today, set the momentum, and it's a big week ahead. Season-defining week in some ways, but today, 3 points when all of our rivals are dropping points. Sorry, tell me how much you enjoyed the Arsenal result. Tell everyone about that.
First, we got to talk Manchester United, next man up, and that's the theme. It's going to be for Manchester United, next man up, because we're dropping like flies. You said Sabitzer goes down in the warm-up. You thought it couldn't get worse, and it's getting worse for Manchester United. The Lindelof, Magoo center back pairing. Magoo forgetting what type of football he's playing, tackling his man like he's playing linebacker for Manchester United, getting a yellow in the first 5 minutes of the match. That was the start. But look, we handled them. We handled them, and it's away. You got to give the lads credit going away to the City ground. They're in a relegation fight. They're going to be up for it. We just saw Arsenal go away to the Amas with David Moyes. They struggled. We held on. It was close for a while, but we got the breakthrough. We put them to the sword. And that's 3 points, 3 huge points. And you got to be talking about Newcastle dropping points, Spurs dropping points against the cherries of all teams. This is really
at home, too.
It's silly season right now. The weather is warm or getting warmer. It is officially spring.
It's sprung.
I'm calling it
you
right
called
now.
It early,
I called it way
ago.
too early. And now it's spring. 8 matches to go for certain teams. Obviously, teams will have games in hand, etc. But everything to play for. Cup competitions, top 4. And you couldn't pick a better weekend for Manchester United than this weekend. Seeing what happened yesterday and then getting the business done today. My expectation wasn't going to put a lot of pressure on the lads. Looking at that back line, knowing Forest would be scrappy. I thought draw. Maybe they pip us or something. Low expectation, yelled great results for the weekend. Absolutely buzzing.
Absolutely. There are certain things in your control. There's certain things out of your control. But everything outside of United's forte was handled. Could have gone better, right? Chelsea lose, that's hilarious. Makes you a little bit worried about Brighton.
Loss, that doesn't matter,
exactly. Always rooting against our rivals. Arsenal, whatever, dropping points. But most importantly, Newcastle losing to a top 6 via side, dare I say, sir. And Spurs losing at home to Bournemouth, the Cherries. You love to see it. But most importantly, I'm not worried about who wins what in terms of the league, denying a trouble. All I care about is Manchester United focusing on their football. And today, we needed some momentum before we head on this tough run this week against sides that are, I think Forest might be better than Sevilla. Brighton certainly are a top team. They showed that over the weekend. And it's an important week for United, for Erik ten Hag to make something work. That makeshift back four, Delo at left back. Malacia got hurt too, by the way. We didn't mention that. He wasn't in the matchday squad, so United is really on a thin back four in terms of defense options. Midfield finally coming together, and then Sabitzer gets hurt, but I think that was why we controlled the game today. Eriksen, Casemiro, Bruno, they were terrific and took some of the pressure off of that back four, even though there were some nervy moments from Harry Magoo. That 3rd minute yellow, I mean, Jesus. People are saying he should have given away a penalty. He always makes you nervous if he gets run at.
I mean, he has a habit of just getting beat like a dog and then just putting his arms out and bringing somebody down. He has that in his locker. And, credit to him. He keeps giving interviews how well he's playing, and he's going to be sold at like a 70% discount. this summer to some marginal English Premier League side because no international team would have him. He's going to get sold on his England form. Someone's going to believe in him. But Harry, thanks for the memories. And, you could have a worse center back, I guess. You could have me out there playing for Manchester United.
You keep putting yourself in this pitch, bro.
Like,
how much top flight football did you play? I gotta cut off John the pack. These last couple of pods I've listened, you're always like on the pitch somehow. You're playing for Wout. You're playing center back.
Every Muppet is on the pitch for Manchester United. For the record.
Well, you find yourself on that pitch more often than not.
Every Muppet is on the pitch for United.
Harry Maguire, he's gonna have a top career at West Ham. Like fighting for relegation because that's where he's destined for.
I'm 37. I'm 37. I got a dog in me. I can go. Let's go, Eric Ten Hag. I know you listen. Let's go. Give me a ring. I got that Jersey heart, baby. Come on, North Jersey. Never say die. Let's go. Let's go all day. Quick PSA for the podcast. We can talk heart. We can talk dog all day. But if you like the Muppet take, and you're a Muppet who envisions yourself on the pitch for Manchester United, you should support this podcast. The best way to do so is patreon.com/America Red Devils. We don't have any commercial sponsors. You want to support the podcast, check out our Patreon page. Tons of benefits. We do a behind-the-scenes episode every single month. Check out our Patreon. It's that simple. If Patreon's not your thing, you can grab some merch at our store, americareddevils.store. Stickers, scarves, shirts, you name it, hoodies. Probably getting a little warm for hoodies, but we have other merch there, so please check it out. Everything you buy supports this small-time operation, and we never sleep. We keep it going here. I got my son in the pod room. This is like the first kid pod. He's on the iPad, so if you hear him in the background shouting for me, it's just cost of doing business these days.
Hey, pod never sleeps. For fans, by fans. It's a grassroots operation. Speaking of grassroots, great way to support the pod, other than picking up merch, checking out our blog, joining Patreon with all the special benefits that come along with being an American Red Devil Patreon member, is write reviews, 5-star reviews, and even better, if you write a 5-star review and send a screenshot to americanreddevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, I will personally package up a free green and gold Glazer out scarf, send it straight to your door anywhere in the world. Write those reviews. They help us get found organically, and they go a long way. Here is a great one from Warden 1107. For the fans been listening to over a year now, and the boys are absolutely great. You can feel how much they love and care about the club, and they are such Muppets. Shout out. If you want a show where you feel like you're discussing Man United with your mates, and this is the show for you, thank you for all the hours of entertainment, and keep up the good work. Glazers out. Shout out to Warden. Shout out to all the American Devil fans. Writing those reviews. We appreciate it.
What a review.
What a review. Speaking of which, sir, today could have been nervier, but I have to say,
I'm not giving this result 5 stars. It's not a 5-star result. Let's go with the pod rating.
I'll tell you what, this guy gives himself a 5-star center back rating. Just 37 years old. You don't have my.
Hey, don't hate on me. I'm talking about results.
The result was all things considered. When I saw that back four, and we got a clean sheet, and we were not a couple good nervy moments for sure. Hey, we got, I love it. 3 points, clean sheet. Anthony goal makes all the haters hate, and even DeLow doing that Selly, like wow, looking for the pass. The second
4
goal.
celebrations, you mean? DeLow's 4.
Hey, get it in, bro. First EPL goal.
Yeah, I know.
We needed that goal. Killed the game.
I think he celebrated a little harder when he was playing for Milan.
Savage. Cutting a guy down.
Portuguese brethren. But let's get into it. Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. It was a city ground. It was a gritty win. I'm giving the boys credit. We showed up to play. Let's get in that 11. Dave saves, world number 1 in net. We had DeLow at left back. Magoo, Lindelsoft, center back pairing. Watch out. But we had AWB, the dog, on the line for United, which was critical. We had Bruno Casemiro. Obviously, Sabitzer was in there, but he got swapped out for Eriksson because he went down in the warm-up, which you hate to see. Could be a result of us playing so many games. Getting into the attack, we had Sancho, Martial, and Anthony. Had a big game for United.
He did. So. Big ups. Put respect on that man's name. A lot of hate. Look at that substitution bench. that bench, I think I did say the last pod. I was like, don't ask me to call the bench. That bench is thin.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can put me on it. That's all I'm telling you. It's like Gerardo. Who's that? I mean, come on.
Gerardo, he's 18. He's a young kid. I'll tell you what. He's got 20 years on your knees.
You want a 37-year-old old dog or you want a youngin? Who would have thought? What'd you make of this 11?
There weren't a ton of surprises given how many injuries there were. The one that was a little shocking was we didn't know Malacia was unavailable. That was something that came out today. So seeing him missing, you're wondering about DeLow featuring at left back. But no surprises in the center back pairing. And at the end of the day, midfield, has it in abundance. Front three has it in abundance. And the defense, we've seen this defense before, maybe not quite in this makeup, but I think what gave me confidence today was that midfield and that front. I was like, that's what's going to get us through this nervy period. If we can keep that midfield healthy and without, penalties in terms of not missing games, that's huge, because we used to play a semblance of this back four, but with like McFred, and now that you have Casemiro and either Eriksson or Sabitzer, I don't know. I think that changes the game. It takes a lot of pressure, even if Magoo creates some pressure for himself.
No, I think it's a great point. The front three, look, is as harsh as a match review rating. I can give it maybe 4 stars.
What does it get? 4-star performance?
I think it's a 4-star.
Yeah,
I think it's a 4. It's only because we didn't create the distance early. I think we had the opportunities, didn't close. I like to see us close teams, be a little more ruthless,
Which we haven't.
But then you look at the injuries, you look at the bench, and it's a hard one. It's close to a 5 given what you're accounting for. But like you said, our attack is healthy. Martial coming back. If you had Wout up there, we would have struggled.
Yeah, we would have. That's
really.
A good point.
So I would say the attack is strong. Casemiro be able to work with the Tweedledee at the back there, I think help release some pressure. De Gea with a good game. Sound all around for Manchester United. And look, a bad team. Can we just say it? It's a bad team. We should go away to their ground and boss them and win. We did. And when you add in the fact that everything went our way before the game, usually that can add some mental doubt, because you're saying, hey, we got the space. We really got to win. And maybe you try too hard, get in your head a little bit, but we did not. Let's jump into that first half. United come out decent, but the game is fairly open. Forest has some chances, notably Jesse. The moonwalk Lingard did not start for Forest on those big wages. It's sad to see what his career has become, but I don't want to say I told you so. First minute, great early chance for Jadon Sancho after a Navas save. Blast it into the defender. 6-minute big block from AWB after United are caught out. Great to see Sancho jumping in early like he did in our prior game as well. Sancho looking to be not quite a spark, but he's looking to offer something there.
No, he's doing a job. He's tracking back. He didn't have the game that Anthony had. Anthony had a terrific game today, but it was an early chance for United. There were some opportunities where we were caught going the other way, right? You talked about Magoo, that 3rd-minute yell. That was a bad one. That was ugly. But AWB proving his worth, and obviously can't discount the role he had, especially in the second half. But United showing some promise, but Navas, dude, what a keeper. It doesn't even make sense. You like look through the squad and you're like, okay, who's he? Keylor Navas, where did he come from? PSG? That's kind of a weird one, but hey, what do I know?
And Navas with the poor man's frosted tips, he's got to lose those.
I feel like all frosted tips are poor
wet,
men.
The wet gel frosted tips for the keeper. I mean, like
Midlands, it's the
everything
Midlands.
but the hair. He was on point today. Our Everton fan. Our Everton friend, who's a big fan of theirs, is rooting for United. Hates United more than anything. He has to root for us to beat Forest, given they're in a relegation battle. So, 25th minute, Forest hit the post. Close here, bobbling everywhere, ball bouncing everywhere. Forest, they were a little dangerous, but United, our quality would break through here in the 25th minute.
Martial. Steal by Martial, played through by Bruno Fernandes. Anthony Martial! Anthony! Manchester United lead on the Trent. Snatched in by the little Brazilian. And Forest's plight deepens.
Yeah, it's preventable. The goal, they win the ball initially.
Okay, so Graham Lasso, the only thing he has to say about the goal is it's preventable. But I mean,
He hates United. I mean, speaking of our friend, the Everton fan, I don't know who hates him more. Probably Graham. Graham probably hates United more than.
No, this is great. Tony Martial,
our boy James.
He's on it. He wins the ball. Back
win
to
the
Bruno.
ball.
Bruno with a great ball to him. He puts it in a dangerous spot. Navas parries. Anthony smells the danger.
Does well. We need that.
Does well. That's like we created that chance. Some hard work from Tony. A deft pass from Bruno. A good placement from Tony. And then Anthony sniffing the danger. I mean, you get that goal because we have some great players that are hungry and working hard up front for United.
And those are goals that I love, because they team created, hard work, pressing high, good chance, and then it's about the follow through. It's like I feel like we've missed out on so many chances where no one's there to bang in the second chance, and that was just refreshing to see. I thought Martial, quiet game in moments, but his class shines through, and you compare it to a Weghorst, it's like levels differently in terms of the way we can approach a game. And good for Anthony, because it's like he's got everything to do there, and he works hardest the ball, gets a goal. I don't know if it was on his left foot, but it went in. That's all that matters.
44th minute, a little bit of a mare from Delo passing it right to Forrest in our box. Could have led to a goal, but the Nottingham Forest striker skies it. There was about 2 of these in the first half if we didn't look too sharp defensively. But in the 46th minute, we get a chance back. Headed chance for Bruno from an Eriksson cross just wide. Bruno should have scored today. He had a few chances to hit the bar as well. But like a great match from Bruno. He's been really playing well for United.
He has. He was terrific. He got an opportunity to play him a little bit more advanced, where he's been playing deep. Eriksson was in the 2 next to Casemiro, and especially the 1, I think it was in the second half, where he blasted it, and it was going in. Navas pushed it on the crossbar. Terrific game. And this one was probably the one you thought he was going to score, because he got it. He got a head on it. It just went just wide, sir. But heading into the half, I think the manager was, content with what he saw from the lads in the first.
You got
45.
no depth on the bench. You just got to power ahead. And in the second half, we came out. Forrest right at us from the jump. We survived that push from them. But in the 56th minute, this is the shot you're talking about. Amazing hit from Bruno. Even better save from Navas. Pushed onto the bar. Should have been a goal. Bruno deserved one between these 2 chances he had. He played a great game for United, and we are not going to have him against Sevilla. 58th minute, Anthony just wide. Another left boot curler. He's due. I think that's 20 in a row. He's hasn't hit just yet.
Hey, he scored.
61st minute, Bruno hits the bar again. United pushing for that second goal. We just couldn't get that breakthrough, so Forest were always there. They were always dangerous. 71st, great chance for Martial. Casemiro puts in a cross, but the Frenchman heads just wide. 72nd minute here, Wout for Martial. I don't know what the manager's doing here, getting Wout on. I'd rather see Elanga. I really think if you're talking about who can get the second goal, I have to take Elanga here.
I mean, you know how we feel about Wout. He did make a decent run in the second goal, but his lack of pace is like he's out there to follow up on that follow up, right?
He was angry for the not getting the ball past him.
Angry at Anthony didn't pass to him. Yeah, well, I wouldn't pass to him either. But
that's the treatment he's getting. I can understand the frustration. 76th minute here for United, getting the second goal, ice in the game.
Anthony, that's a cute ball, and that is a splendid finish from Diogo Dalot. And United have security. It's taken a good while, but they're nearly there now.
That's a fantastic team goal. And Dalot, who's been playing that narrow position, leaving the left-back position, playing inside, as we've seen Manchester City and Arsenal do with their fullbacks.
We don't need more.
And he benefited from that starting position. Appreciation between him and Anthony.
So he got the pointing when he scored, the pulse check, then he did the handshake pause with Anthony, then he did motion with the C symbol to the crowd. Delo, milking this one, milking the celebration. But what a pass, what a run by Anthony coming inside.
The Wout run's amazing.
I know, we're watching the replay now. But Anthony cutting inside.
It's a good ball.
And a great pass.
Great pass.
Wout's frustrated he didn't get it, and then Delo scores the goal.
Well, you know what? If Wout could finish like Delo does here, he would get the ball passed to him more often. But you have to say, Anthony had a terrific game. Delo had a quietly good game. He was cutting inside a lot, inverted fullback.
Yeah, no, Anthony with a great run inside with that. But the thing is, you're seeing the multi-dimensions here, right? He sniffed the danger poacher goal, then he cuts inside, passes the through ball. Then I saw him actually take the man to the touchline. Right foot pass in. He was dangerous today. And when you see him not just going to the left curler all day, it's opening up for Anthony.
He did do that a couple times, but I think this was a more complete performance from Anthony than we had seen, right? Going on his right, going on his left, putting the ball on his right, took a shot on his right, and then another assist, a good scrappy goal, which is not like all of his other goals, which he did try a couple times, to be fair, as he should. Almost hit it once. And a great performance from United, right? It was nervy, couple moments, a lot of it was self-inflicted, but ultimately you get a clean sheet, you go on the road, and you pick up a big 3 points because, dude, we got a tough run in the league, and we got all the points are valuable. We're at 59 now. We got to get our head above 70 between now and the end of the season. I think that will guarantee us a top 4, but, dude, nowhere to hide. All United, games coming thick and fast, and now it's about the cups. We have no league game for a week and a half until we play Spurs next Thursday, not this upcoming Thursday, and we got some big cup games coming up down the chute.
78th minute sub, Fred on for Eriksson, and then that would do the match. United win 2-0. It felt like just business today. Just another day at the office, locking it up, getting the 3. And it's good to see because this will build confidence going into Sevilla away. It's going to be a little nervy. It's going to be tough, and we're going to be without Bruno, who has been on fire for United, but he's going to be rested for the FA Cup. So,
which is great.
You give one to get one a little bit here from United. Looking at the score sheet, this is domination. 22 shots to Forest 6, on target 8 to their 0. You could arguably say should have beat them 3, should have beat them 4-0. You just didn't take our chances. 69% of the ball in their house. They going down, unfortunately, for Nottingham Forest. They spent $150 million or something insane.
On who?
They paid Jesse Lingard a lot of money. That's how much they know about football. That's all I got to say there.
You saying you don't rate the Moonwalker?
He's like one of the highest paid players. He's not even playing on the team and struggled to get in the United side. Posting West Ham social media when he was at United, trolling United, the whole deal. Just a lot of whinging from Jesse Lingard, and then he goes to another club and not turning out too hot. Reminds me of another former United star who shall not be named on this podcast.
There's a lot of former United stars that fit into that.
Further on the match reaction, Manchester United have won 15 and lost 17 matches in which Casemiro, Eriksson, and Bruno Fernandes.
No, have won 15, lost none of the 17 matches. Sorry.
Manchester United have won 15 and lost none of the 17 matches in which Casemiro, Eriksson, and Bruno have all started together. We've only drawn 2. That's a win rate of 88%. So Bruno ain't starting against Sevilla.
No, he's not. But they can all start on the weekend, though, because that Brighton are good, bro. I didn't realize how good Brighton are until I saw them just tear apart Chelsea. And obviously it's a bad Chelsea side, but that was at the Bridge, and they could have beaten them by way more because they tore them to pieces.
Let's get to Brighton when we get to Brighton. Let's worry about we're playing a bad Sevilla side. I'm nervous about that. Then we're gonna play a good Brighton side, different level of nerves
at Wembley.
Antony scored his first goal in 15 Premier League appearances. He attempted 38 shots without a goal in the competition before scoring against Nottingham Forest. It has been a drought for Antony on the right wing for Manchester United, but he is going to learn. And I think the Antony discussion needs to be had at price tag deserves criticism. That criticism is laid at the foot of the front office.
Yeah.
Can't really be laid at the grounds of the player, but it is in some ways. Like Harry Maguire, great example. You pay £80 million for a center back. You expect someone who's going to be really good, start every single game. $80 million for Antony. You expect a guy who's going to score you 10 goals, give you 10 assists, and be the guy from day one. Now, did we pay $80 million for probably a £50 million player who needs a year? Yes. So that's the disconnect. No one's going to say he's not
he's at 10 goals.
Does he want to be at United? Yes. Is he young? Yes. Does he have a lot to learn in the league?
Is he better
Absolutely.
than Harry Maguire? Yes.
Is he a dog? Yes. Will he figure it out? Yes. Will he come good, in my opinion? Yes. Does he know what it means to wear that badge? Yes. So I think he's a great player.
Attaboy.
But you got to complain about the price tag because when you pay that money, unfairly, you want that guy to do a little more than what I think he has done for United. And it's because he's young and he needs to learn. And you're starting to see it in his game. I saw him go to the touchline and put in a cross with his right foot. That's what I want to see.
He's developed over months. He's developed so much this year. Before it was just on his left, uncomfortable going on the outside. He's showing more versatility. He also has a high work rate. He's got a little bit of that Latin emotional flair where he gets a little too fired up, and some of the times the left back can get under his skin. But he's a dog. He's a player. He's already scored 10 goals. He's going to get better and better. And you know what? Eventually, we'll stop talking about his price tag. Eventually. Not today, not this season, but at some point, people are...
But like against lower teams where it's open, like we saw, right? You know, like we saw against Force today. Like he is running riot, but when he's up against like a top tier left back, they can shut him down. They can get frustrated, and so it's just going to take him a while from the consistency perspective, as far as, and also like keeping people guessing. Because I think in the EPL, the level of competition is so high that you got to have more tricks than just going, just like shake and bake from the right to the left and then curling it. He's going to have to switch it up. We saw Tony Valencia struggle with that. He changed his game and was a great player for United. But let's check in with the table. This is what everyone wants to know about. How did this help United? Well, we're in third place. Up from fourth. We're back, baby.
Back.
But we got to start with the top of the table. We have Arsenal, the Gunners,
Bottling
31
it.
played,
Bottling it.
74 points. Man Shitty, 30 played, 70 points. Manchester United, 30 played, 59 points. Newcastle, 30 played, 56 points. And Tottenham, 31 with 53. So with Newcastle losing, Tottenham losing, we got some air. We got 3 points to Newcastle. We got 6 to Tottenham with the game at hand, and we play them. We beat them. It is pretty much done. If we beat Tottenham,
as long as we don't lose out.
no, you beat Tottenham, you're
in good shape.
You get Champions League football, and to me, this is everything that's left to play for this season. We got the EFL Cup, raised a trophy. We got tons of injuries we didn't ask for. We close out top 4. With the EFL Cup, every single United fan is happy. Let's build upon this success. Let's move on. Europa League, cherry on top.
Yep.
FA Cup, cherry on top. You know, I'm not going to get greedy here. I'm not going to get greedy. If you gave me top 4 at the beginning of the season, I would have taken it based on the Rangnick mess from the last summer and the Glazers and everything that's happened in between. We have to seriously say, if we lock up top 4, we get a cup, let's on to next season. Let's build from there. Because this is huge if we get Champions League football, and we're so close. Everything went our way this weekend. Weekends like this, we have to capitalize on it. We have to go and beat Tottenham. And this is the game. We wet noodle that. It's like, come on, you know. Even Magoo, Lindelof have to show up for that game, give everything they got, because that is the game that's going to set the tone.
Well, this was a good startup for that. And an important result, an important game. And you know what? I think that's a great point. It's like we lost our 2 starting center backs probably for the remainder of the season. Varane, he might come back in May. We'll see. But at the end of the day, given how little investment was made in January and the number of injuries that we have had and have right now, top 4 with nothing else is a great achievement. That is a terrific accomplishment for this side, for this manager, given everything that's happened, given how many matches we've had. I don't care about Europa League. I don't care about the FA Cup. It doesn't mean I don't want them, and I do care, and I'm just like fooling myself by saying that, but I'm not going to put any pressure,
getting greedy,
additional pressure on the lads or the manager to win it or to advance to it, because you know what? If we lose to Brighton, if we lose to Sevilla, it's about the league, baby. We got a piece of silverware, finish in the top 4, Champions League. Glazers aren't going anywhere. I mean, we'll get to the news and say they ain't going nowhere. But the big thing is, like, that is a terrific accomplishment, and we can't get spoiled just because we're starting to taste the sweet fruits of the promised land. We're not quite there yet. So it's a project. Projects take time.
Fans are greedy. You know, I wanted the title race, sir. I'm whinging. I want the title race.
Talk about it every pod. Talk about it every pod.
Here's the deal. Look at last year. Like, it's
nightmare.
like that advertisement about United. Like, watch this game again. Like, watch Crystal Palace away in the last day of the season and then tell me that you think we should have gotten Champions League football this year. Thing is, we forgot. It's like 1 year goes by, and now we want more trophies. Now we want to challenge for the title, and I think we forget where we came from. We forget how much more business there is to do for United. You have to be a little humble here and be like, we're lucky to be trying to lock up Champions League and have gotten a trophy and gotten an amazing manager, and we got to build on that. And when fans get greedy, like the Gunners, those fans, they ran away with it. They should not be winning the title. It's too early.
You love it.
It's too early. Honestly, coming in here, they'd be like, second place, let's play some good football. Let's lock up top 4 right there in Europa League. They were with us. They got greedy. They thought they could win the title. Now they're
just winning the title. That's the only thing they got left. You want some context versus last season. We're on 59 points, 30 games played. We finished last season with 58 points. So we have 8 more games, and we've already eclipsed last year's point total. It's been a tale of 2 years. It's like last year couldn't have gone worse. This year, all things considered, it's been terrific. It's been fun. It's encouraging. There's like a lot of momentum building, and it's because of this bald man here, sir, that beautiful bastard. Let's hear from him.
Yeah, you know that when you have injuries, you have to replace. But I already told more often. I think we have more than 11 start 11 players, and I think we proved it today because all the players on the pitch had a really good performance.
How impressed were you with Christian? Given I think it was his first start in 11 weeks, but he seemed like he was never away.
No, but it's a nature talent. Everything's going so smooth with him. So many skills also and game understanding. He wouldn't not had to start if Marcel didn't drop out. But yeah, you know also. When Marcel is dropping out, and we're really happy with the performance of Marcel in the last games. That when you bring on Christian, it's not a disadvantage for your team, and I think he proved it.
And just to clarify, I take it, was Bruno going to start where he's been starting recently? Would he started deeper with Marcel higher? So did Bruno have to change his role at the last minute?
Yeah, in the last minute is a little bit different role, but not that huge because we want to be really rotation there and be fluid, and also our fullbacks play an important role in our game in possession there. But I think both did it very well. I think they play a very good game both.
Having those 3 players in midfield, how important is that? I don't think you've lost with them 3 starting this season.
But you see how quick things can change. Last week we had 9 top fit defenders. Today we had 4. And so we need their numbers, especially we are one of the few teams who are in 3 competitions in Europe. So we have a number of a lot of games. So we need the numbers to stay in those competitions because we want to bring a good team every time on the pitch. And today is one step where we proved we can also perform really well with those plays. And Thursday we have to go again, and then Sunday we have to go again.
I mean, what great commentary for the manager. No excuses, play like a champion. Look at that shine and that ball head.
He has every characteristic of a top-tier manager, of a top Manchester United manager. He understands it. It's all about winning. It's all about mentality. It's about setting an example. Not making excuses, but he clears it out. It's like we had 9 defenders a week and a half ago. We got 4 left, and we're making it work. And credit to him, man. He has just continued to raise the bar. And this is an important game, a really, really important result after the disappointment of dropping a lead against Sevilla at home, plus the injuries, which made everything feel worse, plus the suspension of Bruno, which just compounded things, and getting a 3 points on the road, even against a shit Forest side, because any of these teams that are fighting relegation, whether it's Forest, Southampton, Everton, they can ruin your day, man. They'll they come at you, you give up a bad goal, and they can just slow it down. So credit to United, credit for him getting a result, and credit to the lads. I think they showed a lot of heart today. I thought Martial played really well. Anthony played well. Obviously, Bruno, Casemiro were excellent. I thought EUB was great. Delo with his goal. So it's not the like. And De Gea coming up with, I think, at least one. Did he even have one save? I don't think they had a shot on target. But De Gea looking good with that beard regardless.
No, I mean, another clean sheet. Number 1 clean sheet holder for Manchester United. But I think it's huge to say about the manager. Mentality monster. His comments pre-match saying no excuses, play like a champion. I might be paraphrasing, but that's kind of the attitude he had. He gets players up for a game, and he's saying Thursday we go again, and he's going to rely on these guys, and then it's next man up, and there's an attitude adjustment there, and he's making certain players play better. I mean, I think the sign of a good manager is Alex Ferguson getting the best out of Darren Gibson, like players like that. And we're seeing Ten Hag starting getting a lot out of these players, getting a lot of blood out of that stone in this roster with these injuries. And credit to the manager, honestly. And he's turned us around. Different type of manager, sir. We got to touch on the title race only because there's so much going on via social media. You had the United fans. I think the consensus was we were rooting against Arteta. Now City might win the treble, so now everyone's switching to rooting for Arsenal and against City. Muppets are all over the place with the title race. How are you feeling about Arsenal wet noodling it like I famously said that they would on the pod? How are you feeling about this?
You famously said.
I said, wait till the end. They're going to blow it.
Yeah, sorry. It's like saying that I think it's going to rain next year.
People thought they were going to win.
Everybody thought they were going to blow it. It was an inevitability, a matter of time. This whole, who do you want to win if it's not us? I used to worry about, oh no, the treble, the quad, 100 points, 300. I don't care, bro. I don't care. I like laughing at Arsenal because at the end of the day, nobody cares about City, and everything that they ever achieve under Pep Guardiola and since the takeover will have an asterisk next to it. It'll be like Barry Bonds and his giant head hitting dingers, hitting 72 home runs or whatever he did. No one cares because he's a cheater and they're cheaters. So City win it. Who gives a shit? They win 3 in a row. They win the treble. It won't matter because it'll be besmirched by the illegality and the lack of ethics that they have as a football club. Arsenal, I just, like you said, something about them being in the muck with us that I enjoy. And I really dislike Arteta for some reason because he has an arrogance of a guy that's won 10 titles and was this amazing player and amazing coach. And that bothers me, and a lot of their team bothers me. But I've also realized, when I watch United play against anybody, I hate every other player that we play against because I'm so defensive of this team because it's a part of the family. So what I'm getting at is the whole we can't stop them from winning the treble.
Yeah, don't buy.
I don't know.
Don't
man.
buy
It's
what Muppets are selling to you on Twitter.
Everyone's got a
the
take.
like,
No one's right. No one's wrong. It's just it's
look. Here's the deal.
Whatever.
Nobody's a City fan. They win the title. There's 3 drunk 58-year-olds from the pub in front of their stadium. They got no fans. It's not real. With Grealish, yeah.
It's third.
They ain't got no fans. No one cares about him. It's a front. Basically, they breached FFP. As far as the treble, everyone's worried every season. Oh my god, the Scouse Bastards win the quad. Go do it.
Yeah,
go do it. By the way, they don't have one trophy, so it's just go do it. And at the end of the day, if they do it, there you go. What am I going to do about it? But as far as Arsenal, Arteta waving his arms on the sideline, celebrating our face, I feel like Arteta has been classless against United. And this is one where Arsenal fans got in over their skis. Should have been a little more humble about what they expected this year. Realistically, to say a young group of players is gonna just red line the last 8 games and win out against City. I don't know. For me, this is one of those where Arsenal fans were convinced that they were gonna win it, and it's all coming home to roost. And they're just miserable. And I like them in the muck with us because for them it's 19 years. For us, it's going to be 10, and I want us to get one before they do. And as far as City's concerned, nobody roots for them. So if they win it, it's does anyone hear it in the forest? I didn't hear that tree fall as far as I'm concerned when City win things. So prove me wrong. I don't think they're going to win the treble. I'd love a bottle job from the Gunners. I mean, there's nothing better for our team. I think it'll break the team.
Because NBC Sport, it's also you can tell NBC Sports, they don't let their allegiances not shine through in their coverage. Over the last 6-7 years, you could tell when they have teams they want to win. When Liverpool started pipping up, they were all over Liverpool. Yeah. Now Arsenal, you could tell it's a London contingent. You can tell there's Arsenal fans there. Rebecca Lowe is certainly an Arsenal fan. And they puff them up I don't need to get this whole thing, but a sad Arteta would be hilarious.
No, there's 4D chess to be played here. I'm going to say it. This is full X-Files conspiracy theory. 4D chess. City win the title. City win the Champions League.
Pep's
FFP. It could give the EPL more pressure to throw FFP book at them, which they did already. But to go through and be hey, this is kind of ruining the game at a certain point with City winning everything. You got to go hard to the hoop with the charges against Shitty, which I think they should anyway. So even if they win it, it'll probably have an asterisk, like you said. Pep wins the Champions League. He gone, right? He'll get out of town. Then City won't be good. So there is a little bit of that where if FFP comes down, if Pep maybe wins the Champions League, he'll go. Holland might go. And it will all fall apart. It's going to be a house of cards. I think once Pep leaves that team, they're just not going to be able to attract the talent. Honestly, where they got to hire Arteta back. I mean, that's really the only move that they would have at the end of the day. So I'm just rooting for the downfall of City, maybe via an Arsenal bottle job. But, you have to play a little 4D chess to get there. But, sir, we got a next match. We don't have to worry about Champions Leagues or trebles or anything. We got the Europa League. Let's drop that beat.
Hey, we can win our own treble. 4-man treble.
Poor man's treble, EFL, FA Cup, Europa League, sir. If Europa League's the poor man's treble, what would the Conference League be? That's my only comment there.
Doesn't even count. It's like winning the
It's a middle class
Cup,
treble.
Like what's all the Community Shield and then the Conference League? Yeah, you don't even show those off.
There's only one treble and there's nothing else, in my view.
Well, that's why I call it the poor man's treble, sir. Poor man's treble. Who are we playing?
Sevilla. That's right. Hasn't even been a week since the 2-2 at home at Old Trafford. We're going to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium. Thursday, April 20th, sir. I don't need to tell you about that. Noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern is the second leg of the quarterfinals. We have a lot to do. There is no away goal rule.
2-2.
So it's winner take all. If it's tied, we're going to extra time. And I'd have confidence playing against a horrid Spanish side. But the problem is we have 1-0 games against Sevilla. We've drawn 2. We've lost 2. It's going to be nervy this weekend. Sevilla played Valencia. Sorry, you got to get me that result.
Looking it up. Tell us about Sevilla.
Like we said in the last podcast, it's Spain's oldest sporting club solely devoted to football. They know what they're doing. They beat Valencia 2-0. They have some momentum coming into us.
Up to 12th. They look to me like they're going to save themselves from getting relegated this year, sir. They beat an 18th place Valencia, so they beat like the Nottingham Forest of La Liga. Which
Still momentum.
It's momentum. Hey, momentum. They're gonna be riding high. The stadium's gonna be ripping. We're going down with a patchwork squad, right? No Bruno. We're gonna feel his absence, especially with Sabitzer. I was hoping to do like a Eriksson, Cass, Sabitzer. Now without him available,
Well, it's a warm-up
he
injury.
did his
He's not ruled out.
No,
Let's just go through the list first. Let's go through the list. You're going through the list without going through the list.
Well, I'm just talking
Like
about the injury in
Martinez, he's
today's
out.
game. He's out.
Donnie out. Varane most likely out. Rashford, shout. There's a shout for Marcus. There's a shout for Luke Shaw. Haven't got an official update on McSaw, so I'm going to say he's out.
Yeah.
Bruno suspended on that horrid yellow, and Garnacho gone. That's quite a bit of injuries. The one that would save us
Also,
would be Luke Shaw.
Malacia appears to be out, right? He was on the squad today, and like you said, Sabitzer.
But that
Shaw would be huge.
game like the biggest person we can get back is Luke Shaw. Aside from Marcus Rashford and Luke Shaw on the team, we're winning. We're winning the game, 100%.
I'm more worried about Brighton, to be honest, because like they're a really good team at the Wembley. I think even without like if you did the back four today, and I guess like Fred I'd start Eriksson again. I guess you have to start somebody for Bruno. Say Fred, put him in, same front three. Like we should be able to do the job. I'm a little bit worried about the calls we're gonna get because we've been getting some dodgy calls in Europe, especially at a home crowd in La Liga home grounds. Oof. It's going to be a tough
No, it's
tough
going to be
match.
exactly what you think. It's going to be a lot of whinging.
A lot of rolling around.
A lot of rolling, breaking up play. That's exactly what they want to do. Their defending was horrid when we had them defending low. We were like tons of gaps in the defense. We want to tilt the pitch towards their direction. I think they're going to foul us. We're going to Spain. It's going to be a tough fought victory if we get it. Need to score early, need to get ahead, need to be able to hold the lead with a nervy back line, sir. With all those injuries, who are you going to start? How are we going to get through to the semifinals of the Europa League? Because we want to go.
We don't say we want to go. We know we want to go. Dave stays in net. I feel like he's going to be called in some action in Andalusia. AWV, Lindelof, Maguire, Delo, same back four as today. I'm going to do Fred, Casemiro, Eriksson, Sancho on the left, Tony, Martial up front, and Antony. That one's always tough for me, sir. With no H in the Antony on the right, sir. Who do you got in your starting 11?
You just say Tony.
Well, we have Tony Martial.
I know, but
Tony.
I'm going to say Dave saves role number 1 in net. I'm going to do AWB, Magoo, Shaw, Delo, like you, Casemiro, Fred, Eriksson, going to play the 10. You're going to get Sancho. Actually, I had a thought maybe Sancho playing the 10, but I'm going to put him on the left. Martial and then Antony on the right, and then you could move Sancho. You could drop Eriksson, take Fred out. It depends how aggressive you want to get.
Yeah.
Given we're playing away, I'd go conservative, then switch into a more aggressive stance as we need it. Sir, what do the bookies got for this match?
It's tightened. It's tightened a lot from the Old Trafford odds. Sevilla still the underdogs at plus 240. The draw plus 240 and United plus 110. Sir, given those the odds, what is your score prediction?
Sir, I'm going to say we 1-0. We get it done.
We lose on penalties. I'm playing.
How dare
I'm
ya.
playing emotional chess, emotional 4D chess with my own emotions.
You got to get through this
If I
game.
call a loss and we get through, then you know what? It makes me feel a whole lot better. Penalties. I can see.
You'll know in the first 20 because
yeah.
the problem with this team is they got to show fight because they got to be embarrassed of how they ended the prior game, right? There's going to be people on the pitch that help blow that one. That are going to be like Magoo. I want to see like some serious piss and vinegar from the lads to right the wrong, move on, to win the cup. You're always going to have a nervy result you're going to need to get. You got to get it, and that is how you win trophies. This is the perfect example of a frisky Sevilla side. You got to get the result, and that's what it's all about. Win, baby, win. Let's get into some news. United in the news. All right, we got some more takeover news here. U.S. investment group, the Carlyle Group, likely to table an offer for a minority investment in Manchester United by April 28th. U.S. hedge funds Elliott are in there too. R-Race is another interested party. The minority investment gaining momentum here. You run a sale process. You look at all options on the table as United are doing. And by the way, this is just news to try to push those other parties to raise their bids. Glazers not selling unless they get top dollar. This goes with everything we've been telling you. And in my opinion, the Glazers aren't going to sell. I wouldn't sell if I own United. They're going to be worth $10 billion in another 10 years. Why sell them cheap right now? I hate to say it, but this is just going to be more of the same.
No, I think, you and I, the pod, we've been of the opinion for the last 2-3 months when it was clear there was a huge delta in the valuation between the buyers and the sellers. Minority deal always made the most sense given how much money they need to kind of like pay off in near-term liabilities. $4.5 billion valuation, sell 10%, net $450 million, pay off some of the debt, pay off some of the revolver, make a little bit of investment, like bullshit investment, like pretend like we're working on the stadium, pretend like we're working on Carrington, pretend like we're working on the squad. But it's going to be Richard Arnold. It's going to be John Murtaugh for another 3 years until the market returns. United are in Champions League year after year. And I think this is the outcome. I think this is the most likely outcome. Hopefully it's positioning just to get like a full sale push through from what, I don't know where they're at, 5.25, 5.5, up to 6. But I think this is the most likely outcome, given just how greedy the Glazers are and how much they ain't gonna dig in. This is their prized asset, and they know it, and they ain't getting no second bite of Manchester United if they let it go.
I mean, look, I don't like the Glazers, but I wouldn't sell Manchester United for a penny less than $6 billion. To me, that's the starting line. And if everyone just take down everyone's name. All the Twitter handles, everybody on Twitter that was telling you, oh, this is done, and they're dancing in the street, everything's good.
We knew it'd be like that.
It's
We
like,
knew they'd
I
all
knew
be
it,
full
but
of
my
shit.
point is, we're telling you the real of the real. All these people are just hype train BS on the Twitter. They know nothing about nothing. And just like take some notes and remember who was tweeting out that like, oh, we're going to get bought by Qatar. And Qatar said, oh, we're not bidding higher. Then they bid higher. Then they do this. Then they do like, they let people they look like a bunch of morons. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not bidding $1 higher. Then they bid $1 higher. We have debt free. This whole thing, they've been running people on social all up and down, like looking like a bunch of fools. And their tucked tail, I don't hear nothing about it. You want to buy a club. You want to buy, this is a trophy asset. You got to pay up. You want to own Manchester United? It's an ego chow. You got to be able to pay that top ticket. And you know what? I wouldn't be haggling about nickel and dimes for United. You'll never get a chance like this again. potentially, if you think about it. Like, United should be worth $10 billion in my eyes. It's the number one team. Arguably, you could debate Real Madrid. You could debate like there could be 3-4 clubs in the conversation, and the number one sport in the world.
Football clubs or sports clubs?
I'm talking about football club.
I'm talking number one.
Number
Real
one,
Madrid or Barca, but I think it's above those.
No,
two.
but you have to say, like, obviously I'm biased. I think it's number one because of the history, but then other people can say, well, there's trophies like the European Cups, etc. So like there's going to be an argument about it, but those three teams.
Yeah, but
you
Liverpool
think Real Madrid's going to sell for $5.25?
No. $8 billion.
8, 9.
Right. Yeah.
Barcelona, what do you think they're going to sell for? I mean, it's a distressed asset, but it's not going to be anywhere where we are right now. And at the end of the day, this price should be top ticket, top dollar. And United should be one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world. And you're talking about the Washington Commanders going for the same price as Manchester United. It's insanity. And I have to agree that, like, who would have thought you wouldn't have to pay up to get this team? Pay $7 billion to get him. I just don't know why everyone who's trying to buy him is surprised that it would be a top ticket deal. So there's a disconnect there. We have to keep you posted because this is looking like Glazers are just going to use this, drive up the value, get a great refinancing for the club, and go from there.
Not surprising. You know, they are who we thought they were. I would say United fans should get comfortable with the idea. Yeah, get your Glazer out scarves and get comfortable with the idea they ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Thankfully, we got Erik ten Hag. In him we trust, but I think they come back. I don't know. It can go either way. So they come back. Usually, if we make top four, if you followed every other coach we brought in since Fergie that made top four, they get money the first window and they get nothing the second window. They get like completely starved. They might have to spend a little bit more just because there's going to be a lot of heat on them for not accepting a full sale. But all things pointing to them spending like no money because once they're in top four, they just rest on their laurels because they're morons. And I expect it to happen again this summer.
All right, sir, we got some injury updates. You want to run us through the injuries for Martinez and Varane?
Positive updates. You and I, right after the game against Sevilla, we thought that Martinez had did his Achilles. Thankfully, that is not the case. He broke his metatarsal bone in his foot, which was a bone that my number one dog used to break all the time. Wayne Rooney, that was a common injury that he had. So that is huge and terrific news. We're all wishing him a speedy recovery. We love the Butcher, but we were worried that like 23 was dusted and he wouldn't even make it back. Because if Achilles can ruin your career, it's an 8-month injury. He'll get some time off. He'll make a full recovery. He should be back for preseason. So that is great news, all things considered. And then Varane, he's got a sniff at making it back in May. Another injury from the Rolls-Royce defender. A shame in that. But he should be back for the last run of games. One to watch. But the real one is Martinez is not like out for 8 months. He's out for 2 months.
Yeah, and I would say that, you bring in Martinez, you have Varane, you wouldn't think that you have to rely on them the entire time. Varane had more than 20 league games. It's probably where he should be. You'd expect some more rotation, but bringing in Magoo and Lindelof, it has been difficult. You have to use Luke Shaw.
Yep.
Then he's injured. So, like Erik ten Hag said in the presser, we're down to 4. I mean, they're playing. So, without
they're starting. That's the start.
Brandon Williams is on the bench. That's all you need to know after his fiasco. So, United, we're desperate for defenders.
I'll tell you what, he did not want to put Brandon Williams on the bench. Had to.
Need a body.
body.
Next one to hear, a little transfer news. Apparently, there is some pushback on Sabitzer. He hit the brace for United. It was low teens as far as euros to acquire him full time. Now he scores a few goals. Bayern Munich won £25 million. United won't play it. Little haggling here from Bayern Munich, who looks to be fired their manager, got dusted by City. Now they're complaining about the fee for Sabitzer, who they don't even want.
Yeah.
$25 million. How do you feel about $25 million to get Sabitzer?
I mean, it's interesting because, like you said, all we had heard for the last 2 months, 3 months since we signed him at the end of January was he'd be available cheap. They were saying less than £20 million. At one point, it was 20 million euros, 17 million pounds. That was 25 million pounds after he scores a couple goals. He loves playing for United. He's made that very clear. His agents have been talking to Fabrizio, talking to the pressers. He wants to stay. I think Erik ten Hag has made his mind up at this point for the right price. He wants him to stay, and I think that makes sense. He's a valuable player. He offers it going forward. He's got a high work rate. He's got a finish. And now I think this is just haggling. I think like they know we want to buy. They know they want to sell, but they want to maximize how much money they can take away because I'm sure they got priorities in the summer, just like we do. So the dance, bro. This is the first dance of many dances because we got a lot of players we need to buy and sell this summer. I think Sabitzer, for the right price, under 20 million pounds, would be a good bargain. He's 28, but he's fit as a fiddle. He takes really good care of himself. He's got years left. I'm all about the Austrian joining this 11 going forward.
I mean, he's fit. He's injured.
Yes, in this instant. You think people don't get injured, bro?
Fit, but, I mean,
how long do you think you're 37?
Not injured, you know, but
I was talking about fitness level. Like he's a lot fitter than Jaden Sancho.
So he's yoked, is what you're saying?
He's fit. He's skinny. He's a skinny. He's like lean, bro. Lean and mean.
For me,
this guy, you're on the pitch again.
What? It's the chops.
Mentally.
It's the chops.
He's got the poor man chops.
He's got to get rid of those chops. For $25 million, he's got to shave
goals.
those chops. No, as far as Sabitzer goes, look, another feel-good one for United. He come in. Look, he looks good playing in the 10. Bruno dropping deep, playing playmaker. But is that where we want Bruno? Eriksson also has a shout at 10 as well. We need Camavinga in our midfield.
You're not getting Camavinga, bro.
Camavinga's like twin brother.
Let it go.
We need somebody who is box to box, CDM, run the show. We need Casemiro's backup is what I'm dying for. And if this 25 mil is going to cut out of that, look, I love Sabitzer. Like to see him play United a little longer, but we ain't paying that type of cash for him. At the end of the day, like sub 20, fine. You gotta. This is why they need to hire me in the front office, not only on the pitch, but the front office, because I'm going to play hardball.
John, what can't you do?
I'm gonna be like,
what can't you do? This guy can play. Apparently, he can play center back and he can play forward. Never played a professional game of football his whole life.
No one's going to believe in you.
And you can also run the front office. That I more believe in. Yes, I think you
No,
and
but
I
I'd
can do
play
it much
hardball
better.
with Bayern Munich and be like, no.
Take him back.
I'd make a comment about the chops. Be like, look at this guy. How could I market him with those
He's
chops?
injured.
That's at least $3
million.
million.
Be fit because he's injured. Right.
That's at least $3
John
million.
logic.
He's injured.
He's injured.
He can't even
Be
play.
fit,
Like,
right?
look at this guy. I don't
hurt
even
his
want
groins.
him,
This guy. How do you think you do in a warm up?
No, but I'm just saying, I'd haggle at least $8 million off of the fee based on the
15
chops
million
and the fact he's injured.
He's injured today. Hopefully he's back.
You guys sent me a player. You haven't even talked to him about his like personal grooming or anything like this. I'm like,
They don't want him,
nothing
bro.
over
They
here.
clearly don't want him. We do. I do.
Well,
think
he's Nagelsmann like leftovers. They obviously don't want him.
If
So I'd
Tuchel
be
don't
like,
want him,
I would
Tuchel
just,
don't want him.
I'd be playing hardball with Bayern and be like, nah. I'll be like, give you 15.
Yeah, 15 and walk.
15, 5 up front, 10 in 3 years. That's what I'd tell him. Like nothing.
Yeah, keep trying, bro.
And by the way, you can get
know,
some
this
snacks.
guy, I tell you what.
I'll give you some free jerseys.
Monday morning
and some
quarterback,
snacks.
Monday morning third like football negotiations over here. Make it sound easy, sir. Give me Holland too while you're at it.
Alrighty, let's jump into fan questions. At Rolling the Deep, 1995, quote, the scoreline doesn't reflect that we played them off the park. Looked a bit sloppy in the final third, but our midfield really won us the game. Fullbacks were immense. If we play like this, I think we can get a result versus Sevilla. And maybe the Sirs trip will happen. Maybe.
Thank you, Deep.
Maybe it is all cursed. We shall see. We're nervous. I want to go.
We're not going.
We have to get through Sevilla.
We're not going.
You're really like
Penalties, bro. We're gonna lose some penalties.
getting greedy.
The
I
hand goes
agree.
up. God skies it. The only thing that gives me hope. I mean, obviously we're losing Bruno. That's huge. But like, we got a good midfield. We didn't have a midfield like that. Even with Bruno, Eriksson, Casemiro, those are players that weren't available last year because we didn't have them. I think that gives me a lot more. Even with a shoddy back line, it's like midfield dictates play in football. It is so important, and that gives me some hope. Hope is what kills you, though. Isn't that what they say?
At Heels529, quote, needed someone to take the lead in an attack along with Bruno, and Anthony answered the call. Best performance as United player. Is that the best performance he's had?
I'd probably say so. You know, he didn't get his trademark left curler, but he had a great goal because a scrappy goal. He had an awesome, even better assist. That pass and the assist was terrific. And he also, remember, he put in that right foot ball. He was cutting inside the pitch. He burnt his man on the left back position a couple times. Easily a shout for one of his best performances as a United player.
I would say that. I would say the most versatility out of Anthony we've seen. Maybe not the moment of just signing him, scoring against the Gunners, probably number one. But best performance, I would say yes.
For a full 90 minutes, I'd say it is. I think you're right.
At Austin FFL, quote, this is the type of match I had grown accustomed to dropping points in. Eric Ten Hag has made me believe again. Are you a believer?
I'm a believer, bro. I'm a full believer, a true believer, if you will. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Erik ten Hag, you're the man. Dude, he snaps us out of our streaks, our bad streaks. And we would streak to the good, streak to the bad under Mourinho, under Ole. And the bad streaks would just run. And he can bite it in the ass consistently. And this is a big week. We have 2 big matches. The boys are going to have to show their mentality because we're not going to have our first pick 11. Other people are going to need to step up. That's why you need a squad.
Sorry, I've never heard the bite it in the ass terminology before. You got to walk me through that one.
Just keep going, bro. Next question.
I think nip it in the butt.
Bite in the ass.
Bite in
What's the difference? What's the difference? Terminology. Potato, tomato, tomato.
Ten Hag, that's
Nip
his
it in the
strength
bud.
here.
Nip it in the bud.
At Miller KDJ, quote, for all the talk of recent injuries, this was arguably the best league performance since the victory over Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final.
Good point.
Ten Hag's substitution were correct on the day. After making a few questionable decisions in recent matches, it's all about mentality. I think that's a great point. That's exactly right. It was all about mentality today, given how beat up our squad was and how we showed up. Sir, I'm not going to say the mentality exactly.
Keep going. Number 9 for Manchester United over here. Number 5, clearing balls. I'm like, no, it did my knee. Keep going, bro.
At Ant6C, quote, United 3 points clear in third. Spurs and Newcastle both losing. Perfect weekend. Was feeling nervous for Thursday, but after today, I am not. I'm sure a lot of us are more confident. I am much more confident. You seem a little nervy.
I just like to manage my expectations because now that I got,
Well, we don't need to
I
feel
got
confident.
I got
think
credit
Magoo
approval.
feels
I
more
got credit
confident.
approval from the wife, so that means I'm definitely not going to get to go. That's how it works.
No, but it's like I feel like the players are more confident. Away, clean sheet. I feel like we can go to
we needed
Sevilla.
that.
It's like
we
the
needed
players
to
are
win.
confident.
If they
The
play like
attack
this,
is
if we
confident.
play like this, we win. We win against Sevilla.
The only player we're down, Bruno. That's the one that makes me nervous.
He's a big player. He's like missing Casemiro.
All right, last one here. At Red Devil Woody, good game, 3 points, and a slight hold on third place. Eriksson and Bruno were immense in midfield. Great goal by Delo, concerning that De Gea won't come out and catch a ball.
That was bad.
Puts unnecessary pressure on the defenders. Like people,
He hit the post, bro.
#closes
That
out.
was bad.
Yeah, you're not gonna lie,
He
sir.
has weaknesses.
Look, if you like the America Red Devils podcast, you want to support us, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Check out our store, americareddevils.store, our website, and our blog as well, americareddevils.com. Always worth a shout. So give us our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? How you doing? New York, LA, California, Chicago, Illinois, London, England, Dublin, Ireland, Phoenix, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, Melbourne, Australia, San Francisco, California, and last but not least, Portland, Oregon. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do without you.
Week in, week out.
No, you don't get that no more because you don't score goals. Hey, we're headed down to Spain. Big cup game. All to play for, sir. This week is going to be a big one for Manchester United. Let's start it on the south coast of Spain. Andalusia. Let's beat them up.
Let's go, United. Come on.